Committee. I'm here with Dr. Amanda of Deloitte, who we're really excited to have as one of our spotlight speakers for the Govis conference, which is at the end of July. Dr. Amanda, tell us a little about yourself, please.
Well, thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. I lead our Deloitte AI Institute, which means I get to think about what's going on globally around AI. I've led AI engineering teams and also lead engagements across the public sector, really thinking about what AI means for this next transition that we're on.
Yeah, exactly. So very hot topic that I'm sure we're going to talk about a lot at the Govis conference itself and then throughout the year. So Dr. Amanda, the topic itself, what are you tackling and what can the audience who signs up expect to hear?
Well, now we're going through a lot of change, so you wouldn't be surprised to hear that we're thinking about reimagining work in the jagged frontier of AI. And what that means is right now AI is incredible in some tasks, but unfortunately terrible in others.
Yes.
So organizations, leaders around New Zealand are saying, how do I think about this shift? Where do we put it and how do we redesign work? Because right now the return on investment from just turning AI on is not there yet. And we have some tips and tricks and reflections on what will work and what might not.
Yeah, the theme is courage to deliver, and part of that courage is the unknown, and also I love this jagged frontier lens in terms of kind of the wrangling and future ahead. It might not be the smoothest of journeys, but P is for progress, and it's gonna be an adventure. And then you mentioned in terms of next steps, things can be taken away by the audience because it's so important if you're spending a day or two going to this conference. What are you bringing back to your organization? And I just had a conversation with Chris, and he'd said, here's what you can start doing Monday and what that takeaway. So just as a bit of a preview, off the top of your head, what's something people could then start doing Monday when it comes to this realm?
Yeah, well, the first thing is the jagged frontier is not a term that I coined, unfortunately. That comes from academic research, and we will draw on that research to provide some ideas. But look, in New Zealand, what I've seen work really well is fluency in AI. I think when leaders are understanding what AI is about, it's incredibly powerful. And we've seen great progress come from setting up forums where people across the organization can surface their ideas, they can share them, and you can have leadership actually make decisions on what AI can do for the organization and what those big bets are. But the reason I think education is so important is if we just AI-ify everything we're doing today, we are going to be putting an AI motor on what essentially is an old-fashioned push bike. We are going to be automating kind of the wrong processes, and often we need to zoom out and actually think, okay, what would this look like if we were doing it, with AI in our minds first? And even better, taking away the whole term of AI, but what would be a more efficient way to do it?
Yeah.
And when you look at it that way, sometimes AI is the solution, but often it's not. Sometimes it's about reimagining work, reimagining value, and then kind of going back to the basics.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel, and I appreciate that because I do feel in the last 12 months here in Wellington, we've lost the appetite for working backwards from the outcome, right? We're looking at the technology solution first, and it's coming from someone in my non-Govis hat who talks about the tech solution all the time. We really need to ground in those outcomes, and so for the organizations and the work that you're guiding on from a Deloitte point of view and speaking on from a Govis point of view, right? It's working backwards from those core tenets of what that looks like, especially from a workforce point of view. So it's gonna be a hot topic at Govis, and we're really glad to have Dr. Amanda tackling it. If you are interested in registering for Govis, we do have early bird registration through the end of the month. So hopefully there's something in that 1 and day 2 agenda for you. But Dr. Amanda, thank you so much. Any closing thoughts for the good of government? Quite a broad opportunity.
Amazing. I would say there is a lot of uncertainty right now around what the future will hold, and I would say this is a great time for all of us to take a mandate of learning more about AI. And although it's terrifying, understandably for many people, we also have an unprecedented opportunity to learn. learning has never been more accessible and more easy to engage with. So ask your AI for help around how it can be used in the tasks that you do, both in your personal life and your professional life every day.
Absolutely, and come to Govis to swap notes with peers and see what they're doing tangibly for what you can pick up on Monday.
Yeah, those will be the best ideas, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.